Hi, welcome to Full Time to Talk. This is just a bit of a pre-warning, bit of a trigger warning that on these videos, on these streams, I get guests to come on and share their life stories, their mental health struggles mainly, or physical struggles, stuff that have impacted them, maybe in a negative way. A lot of them are triumphant stories that they've come through the other side, and hopefully we end on a positive note. But there might be some stuff that's quite distressing to hear and watch. So just a bit of a trigger warning. This isn't just a football video you'll be watching. We speak about football too. Football and mental health is my two big passions. But there will be some elements in these videos as a certainty that may be too much for you as a viewer to watch. So this is just a trigger warning. If it's not your kind of thing, mental health chat, then maybe just give this video a miss. But if you're here to watch, then brilliant, and I hope you enjoy or take something from the stories, however bad they may be, because we all need to share our issues and our problems and our misfortunes to hopefully help someone out who's going through something similar. It's massively important to me and the guests that I have on here that we share our story and try and reach, even if it's just that one person, to try and help and raise awareness for the circumstances that we talk about on these videos. So yeah, thank you very much. Hello everybody, welcome back to Full Time to Talk. I'm delighted this week to be joined by Mr Whitesnake himself, Steve, our fellow Leeds fan from over New Zealand way. How are you doing, buddy?
Hang on, I've just got to stoke the motor up.
Yeah, this is New Zealand calling.
Love
Yeah,
it.
funny, isn't it? We're what 14,000 k's away.
How it is.
We can talk to each other. Eh? It's pretty
Love
cool,
it.
eh?
No, it is, mate. It's great, and we've become friends now in the scene. You're a great guy. You're a massive supporter of a lot of the channels. You definitely throw yourself into the chats. You know your stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy it when you pop up when I'm on a live and you start getting your opinion across. It's always good to hear from you, mate. I won't lie. So yeah, really grateful you reached out to me and said you wanted to come on here. I know you're a massive advocate of mental health like myself. I think we've sort of connected on that level. So yeah, really pleased you decided to do this. Tell us your story. Talk a little bit about Leeds United as well. So great guest to have on here.
Ah, cool.
So sort of mental health in general, mate. Obviously you've watched this channel now. You've seen me do, I think I've done about 4 or 5 of these now. You've been in the chat. You've watched them all. So thank you so much for that. Just as a friend anyway, I appreciate you tuning and watching it. What made you want to come on here, Stephen, and share your story after seeing what we've done already?
There's something I've always wanted to do this, what you're doing, but I haven't got the nous or the stuff to do it. I thought about it, and it would be too much. It'd just send me backwards, mentally, because listening to what other people say, you can sort of you relate to it. I'm very good at actually talking people through what they're going through. And I can help them to, you should do this and you should do that. And later, do I do that myself? Nope. So I thought about it and I couldn't do it. And then when you came on and did it, I thought, I'll go and have a look and see what it's like. And I thought, well, hang on, maybe I can't do a show myself. Because I did try a couple of times. I did a video, I think twice, but it got a little bit too much for me. And I thought, I can talk to people. I'm good. That's one of the things I seem to do, because you get on the bus and all the nutters come and talk to you, that you sort of, and then you talk to them and they, oh, you've made my day and things like that. And I thought, and Karen always says, when I go down the shops and I talk to the supermarket staff, especially during COVID, and I was talking to them and telling them what a great job they were doing, and they go, oh yeah, your husband's so nice and all. But that's just me being me. So, then when I started to relate, you've done, I think, 4, and they're all different stories.
Yeah.
They're all different things, but the one thing they've got in common is the mental health side of it.
Yeah.
Darren's with his dad and that sort of thing. That's really interesting, because if you listen to Darren and Dillo, they're always talking about their dad. And I got a little bit annoyed with a few people who had mentioned about, oh, geez, they're always going on about their dad. And I thought, you don't understand what people are going through. The reason people talk about mental health, you got a mate and he starts talking about his mum. Well, I'll use the only Leeds bros because we know them.
Yeah.
They're talking about their dad because that's helping them heal.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're a good friend of anyone who's going through mental health issues and they want to talk about it, just be quiet, listen to what they've got to say, and just be there for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Although it can get annoying sometimes, it's their way of processing things and getting things to heal. Which leads me on to the other thing. I was born in Wingate, 65 Wingate Road, Armley, in Leeds. So I was born Leeds, and a lot of content creators don't come from Leeds; they come from other places around.
I love that.
I married a woman. Karen's comes from Oldham, actually, but she keeps joking about, so I'm scum, am I?
Yep.
But yeah, she has a laugh about that. So I left England when I was 5, moved to Australia in 65, lived there until 2009, and then moved over to New Zealand. I lived in Japan for 3 months. I learned a lot there, and I think that is it. The Japanese experience had a big influence on me.
Yeah.
But what I found out, I don't know, I think it was 2008 when I really started to struggle. Well, I really started to struggle in 1999 when my first marriage broke up.
Right.
But I didn't realize what was going on. It was just like, my marriage is broken up. I got married again. I married the same type of woman.
Right.
Style.
You've got a type.
Yeah. And then I realized that this isn't working, It's So I don't want to say anything disrespectful to either of them, because they, regardless of whether you've had a good time or a bad time, you've learned something from it.
100%.
So like the first wife gave me 2 beautiful girls. The second wife taught me a little bit about getting my act together. But in the end, we needed to part ways, so we did. I met Karen, moved over to New Zealand when I was still married to my second wife, and it was during the marriage to the second wife where I got a work injury. It was a physical one, but not visual.
Yeah.
Like I did my ulnar nerve in my right hand, and I was struggling to do basic things and things like that. So they put me on a work cover type thing, tried to get me back to work, but I just couldn't work. So I got bullied. Like all of a sudden, you're putting it on, you're joking, you're making all this stuff up, and then all of a sudden, you can't do this, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and then you became micromanaged.
Right.
Anyway, moving along, I ended up leaving there, came over to New Zealand to get away from all that. Got a job in security, which probably wasn't the best thing to do, because I've been sworn at, spat at, shot at, stabbed, or attempted to stab, physically assaulted, and all the rest of it. And to be honest, to be fair, the one where I was shot at, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it wasn't aimed at me anyway. So, but it's nice to put on your resume. I was shot at.
Okay.
So, but I used to love working in the supermarkets, because I used to do malls, shopping malls, in security. And then even there, I started to get bullied by heads of security, because I was more of a preventive security officer rather than let's catch everybody and
Yeah.
throw them into jail and, or charge them or trespass them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wasn't into that. I was more make your presence felt, and that puts people off, and then they go away. So I left that job, went to another security job, and I started reporting thefts by staff members and other things that were going on, underhanded dealings that were happening because it was a building store. I don't know what you have over in England, but we have Bunnings and Mitre 10 where builders come in.
Like screw fix and stuff like that over here, where they come and get the materials for work
get your
and stuff.
Get your wood, get your frames and all the rest of it. Yeah, it was like that. And I started reporting all the stuff. Well, apparently that was a big no-no. And then I got micromanaged that bad that I rang Karen up one day and I said, you need to pick me up. So she picked me up from work. I actually collapsed in the car.
Really?
Went to see the doctor, and the doctor said, your body's telling you've had enough. That's it. You finished as far as work's concerned. Because I was shaking like it was, it got really bad. So I haven't worked since 2014.
Wow.
I'm retired now.
Yeah.
So that's all right. But even the effect that it's had on me is I can't stand when I see other people suffering.
No, I can imagine.
I can't watch certain TV programs. I can't watch because I see what's happening, and I get up and walk out. That's when Karen knows I'm getting.
Yeah.
Because I get up and go in the kitchen, and she can hear me cleaning dishes that have already been cleaned and things like that. Oh, he's going through. But I'm lucky because Karen's gone through similar sort of thing with her marriage. Marriage, we got treated very badly. And she went through anxiety because you go through the anxiety, the depression. And we both suffer PTSD from it. It just regurgitates all the time.
Yeah.
Something happens, and it can be anything. It's just like that, it triggers you.
You can be totally fine 1 minute, Steve, and then next thing you're away. So
absolutely.
I understand that. Yeah. You know when you said about work, you haven't worked since 2014. So now have you got something physical that prevented you not working there? I know you spoke to me before about the shakes and things like that. So what physical problems do you deal with daily, if you don't mind me asking?
My shaking. I can pick something up. Like if I have a cup of tea, I have it in a sealed cup. I can't have it in an open cup. Although on my earlier videos you saw me drinking wine, I'd have a small. You'd have the glass about this big a glass, but I'd have that much in it.
Yeah.
And you'd see me holding it with two hands. I went to the neurologist, as I told you earlier, yesterday, and he said, "Oh, could you draw me a circle?"
Bless you. Really?
I was all over the place. I actually put my hand on the table and I drew the circle up. He said, "No, I want your hand up." So I had to have it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see my shaking now.
Yeah, I can.
I had to have it up from the table, and it was a mess. So before I left, I actually put my signature on the little scribble, and I said, "When you sell that for millions of dollars later, give me a cut." So we had a bit of a laugh. So
you're one of these blokes, aren't you, Steve? Who you have all these struggles. You talk about PTSD. You struggle with mental health at times. You tremors, but you shine the light. You find the light in sort of any situation. From what I know, just through the online friendship we've got, you're a really funny guy. You always see the positives, even where sometimes it's quite hard to find. So just hearing you having to finish work, way earlier than your time, the tremors, having to support your wife as well, who's also going through, anxiety and stuff, which is always hard. Sometimes it's harder. Well, it probably is harder to see your wife going through these. You don't really mind about yourself, but you're juggling all these emotions and physical problems yourself. But you're also, your wife, Karen, will be heavily dependent on your support too. And that's a lot for you to deal with, mate. And you still do it with a smile on your face, Humor's a great tonic, innit? Humor's a great tonic.
absolutely. Except a lot of the time, people don't get my sense of humour.
I didn't at the beginning, if you remember.
Yeah,
Early on, I didn't get it, Mr. Whitesnake. I'm
I
like,
wanted to talk to you about that, because this is another thing. Like, I learned very quickly when I got onto the internet is I always behave on the internet how I am in real life.
Yeah.
And Karen will tell you I'm the same. He's the same. Yeah, he'd say that. Yeah, what he said to you. Yeah, he'd say that in real life. You know, it's a bit like one of the things my humor is the song "You Light Up My Life" was on, and Karen goes, "That's a nice song," and I said, "Joan of Arc wouldn't think so." But before I said that, I said I laughed. You know, they played the song, and I'm going, and Karen's going, "What do you mean? What are you laughing about?" I said, "No, you don't want to know." She says, "Yes, I do." I said, "No, you don't. No, you don't." And then I said, "Joan of Arc wouldn't have appreciated that." And then she, oh God,
dark humor.
But it's that sort of thing. Now, going back to what you were talking about before, about with you and I, it was I think you were giving the teams out that the media put in order, the Premiership, how they're going to finish.
Yeah.
Now, I'd put in your comment, I think, "I'll get on with it," or something.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. Now, the thing that you don't know is that I knew that there was some guy had put your channel on. He was going on about Farker out, and he used your videos for. So I knew about that, and I thought, when you came back at me, I thought, well, you didn't really come back at me. You just sort of like generalized, and I thought, yeah, he's having a dig at me. I wonder why. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's that.
Yeah.
But then when I started thinking about it, I thought, if I'd put "get on with it" and I'd put a couple of emojis with "ha ha ha," it would have been a different story.
100%.
So this is where I now look at things. When people say stuff, I'm sitting there going, right, before you have a reaction, Steve, sit back and think about why they said that.
Yeah.
Why? That's why I don't get upset with all the. Well, I do. I get annoyed personally with some of the crap that some of the chat goes on about, like brain dead, dumb. I promised Karen I wouldn't swear. No, she said just be yourself. I said, oh, I'll try. But you know, there's that sort of thing, and I try and look at things in a different perspective now.
Yeah, you do.
But out in the real world, when you're out there, no, you can't. I mean, we're a lot of this Leeds top. Auto Knows Better bought me this top.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they donated it to me because I was talking to Luke, I think it was, and we got chatting, and he said we got on to how much do you get on, and I said 20,000. It's 20,000 roughly, £20,000 a year. Karen and I get for the two of us.
Right, not much, is it?
No,
not much at all, mate.
We're fortunate in the fact that we're old school, and when we were growing up, we put money away. We knew how to save. We knew how la-di-da-di-da-da. So when we got together, we pooled our resources and we bought our own house. So we own the house that we live.
Right.
We don't have a mortgage. So that's where we become very lucky. If we had to pay rent, although we'd get assistance, we'd be on the bones of our ass. Yeah. But even now we struggle.
Yeah. With you both not being from New Zealand and you both ended up there, have you got a lot of family and friends there anyway, or did you move there and have to start like again?
No, Karen had family. Karen came from England, and her family moved over in '84. They lived in Auckland, and then they moved. Her mum and dad moved to Tauranga, really? Which is about an hour's drive from where we are.
Yeah,
we moved from Auckland to here to be closer to them.
Right.
All my family are in. My immediate family are in Australia. I still have family in Leeds.
I'm going to say we've still got some family members in.
Yeah,
oh wow!
Yeah. And there's even some bodies in that Derby.
Oh,
Derby, yeah.
Derby.
Yeah.
So obviously, were you following Leeds to the extent you do? Is that something you've just always done since being 5 and moving over there, or because I would think 5 is maybe a bit too young to remember, or were you?
Now, the first game I ever saw of Leeds that I really got into was the FA Cup against Arsenal.
Well,
and we got up at 11:30 at night to watch it in black and white.
So how old will you have been then? You remember? Roughly?
12, 13.
12, 13, yeah.
Yeah. But my nan used to send me over the Sheep magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Beano Bunty. She used to send me over the newspaper, the News of the World. And I used to follow them like that. But in Australia, it was really good because where we moved to was an English community, right. English, Scots, Irish. And then came in the Italians, the Yugoslavs, the Greeks.
Yeah.
And it was a nice little community. You used to call each other names and abuse each other. But when it came down to it, as a community, if somebody was in trouble, you'd go and everybody would dig in and help them.
Yeah.
And that was all right. And they used to have, the kids used to play soccer. You'd have the under 6s right up to the under 18s. And then you go under 23s. And then you go the adults sort of playing. Yeah. And there used to be like in your, well, I used to live in this place called Elizabeth. And Australians have a great way of defining different suburbs. Like the north of Elizabeth was Elizabeth North. South of Elizabeth was called Elizabeth South, Elizabeth East, Elizabeth West, Elizabeth Downs, Elizabeth Park. And all these little communities had their own little footy teams, and the scores used to go in. And that was going through the 70s and 80s. But then it all dried up.
Yeah.
Now, my association with Leeds was going on all right, but then all of a sudden things changed. The news changed. And you didn't get as much information coming through to Australia.
Yeah.
So I lost contact with it.
So I mean, how hard was it to find results out and things, you know, through those years?
Well, back then, before the internet, very hard.
So yeah,
you'd have to wait a couple of weeks for the newspaper, the what is it called? I think the UK Express it was called. You'd have to wait for that to come through. Wow. But they'd have the Premier League. Well, it wasn't called the Premier League back then, but you'd have the Premier League Championship, and that was it. But back in the 70s and 80s, you get the local paper. It'd have all the different leagues of England. It'd have the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A1, 2, 3. The back pages would be full of all the results from the weekend. So on the Monday and the Tuesday, you'd get all this information. But that all went away, and I lost contact with it for ages. I just every once in a while I'd get there'd be a news flash if something interesting happened with Leeds.
Yeah,
but very rare.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then it wasn't until I got onto the internet, I started looking at what Leeds were doing. Found the Leeds United. Oh, Leeds United have got a website. Whoa, the excitement. But even on the website, there wasn't enough information on there to keep you going.
No.
But then when I got with Karen said, YouTube's got Leeds United channels.
Yeah.
One of the first channels I caught out of was Just Joe.
Yeah.
There was one woman on there called Leeds Birds Rants.
Yeah, Kate, yeah.
Yeah, Kate, yeah.
Kate.
And then I got hold of Joe, so it was Just Joe, and then there was Ollie Ward, and there was
Connor as well.
Connor in the cupboard. No, it's true. He'd do. If you go back and have a look, he used to be in this little. It looked like a cupboard. And
I actually remember.
Remember Karen said, "What's Connor doing in the cupboard?" And that's where he got his name. And then Joe's was dressing gown. Just Joe's dressing gown. He used to come on with his dressing gown.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So that was all good.
So obviously being other side of the world, I can obviously tell that the YouTube scene does a lot for you in terms of the community there is on here. You know, you let's be fair, you are in the heart of most of the channel's chat. We're all very fond of you. The fact you get the news just at your fingertips now compared to obviously 20, 30 years ago, as you've just explained, you know, you can see the benefit of this sort of scene. You know, we did that Creators Cup last week, and Joe, you probably saw it in his vlog. He made a massive point of for the Yorkshire Roses, mentioning that in like the team talk before, that you know, there's people come to support us today, people watching online who maybe can't go to games and stuff, and you know, we give them that news, or we give them that reason to tune in and get involved in Leeds United chat, because there's people like yourself, other side of the world, who hasn't got an next door neighbour he can have a chat about results with, can't go to a game, you know. So some maybe I overlook sometimes because I just come on here and do it, and you don't always think, you know, because you know me, I'm just me. I don't really understand when anyone watches me. I say this all the time, Steve, you know, and it's genuine. But like when he said that, it hit home with me, and it is like speaking to you now. You know, if everyone just stopped the YouTube scene, you know, people would miss out. You know, you're like, say you enjoy it, it's your entertainment. You come and you entertain us, and you get involved with it. So it's a massive thing. And say sometimes that I forget that, and Joe always reminds me that, you know, that there's always someone watching who needs you to come on, and someone, and yeah, I don't know what you feel about that. But
Joe does. With Joe, like most of you guys are probably, Karen and I treat you like sons.
Yeah.
You know, I'm old enough to be, because you're what?
I'm 38.
38, so I'm just about old enough to be your dad.
Yeah.
So Karen will go, oh, how's my boys going?
I love that.
So, you know, especially Jack City.
Yeah, he's class. Oh, I love Jack.
And Joe, and when Joe's mum was having trouble, we picked up, it was, I don't know what it was. I said, there's something wrong with Joe. And Karen says, well, has he got a Twitter account? Maybe. So I messaged him on Twitter, and he told us about it. So we tried to support him as best we could from here.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't go overboard, but every once in a while we'd just pop in and say, how's things going, and all the rest of it. And he was struggling with his channel, and this was just before he decided to take the leap of faith. And I sent him a video of a guy called Rick Beto, who has a music channel, and he talks about YouTube and how it affects you and what really happens in the YouTube world. It's not all, you know, wonderful, great stuff. If you're running a channel, it's very much hard work. But it also gave an insight in how to, if you're going to be on the YouTube and you want to make money, you've got to take a devil-may-care attitude, and you've got to be thick-skinned, but also remember that the one person you've got to look after is yourself.
Yeah.
And if your health is being affected by you doing YouTube, you need to either slow down and have a rethink and stop being a part of the machine. Yeah. Because you know, people are always looking at figures and stuff like that. And the other thing too, you're going back, because that hit home with us too, because we watched the Joe talking about people, the amount of times that watching Joe and the rest of you got I say Joe because he's been a big part of the amount of times I felt down and just getting a mention on the channel.
Yeah, a huge lift.
Huge lift.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And that's why, like I always said to Joe, you know, I'm not going to pester you because I won't get hold of Joe if I want, but I just get hold of him every once in a while, and same with Joe. Yeah. Just to touch base, and I try not to get, because you've got, you know, Joe's got what, 35,000. Connor's got 40. Even Connor gives me a mention. Pooh, I got a shot out of that. I was very happy. That's great. But that's the thing.
I love that.
Just one mention. Like, you know somebody.
There's quite a lot of pressure on that, Steve. You know, I know now I'm approaching 3K, and I can't believe that there's that many people watching. It's such a nice feeling. And I'm getting over 100 on live now. And, you know, on my channel, I try and bring every comment up. It's getting more and more difficult. I can only imagine what it's like for them guys. So like you say, if he sees your name he skips, 15, 20, but he pulls you out. It's lovely of him to do that, because obviously you're more than a subscriber. You're a friend, aren't you? And it's lovely that he acknowledges that. And I can imagine to you how that feels, mate.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't. The difference with me is I know that you've got X amount of followers, and if you look through the chat, I've got the intelligence to sit there and go, right, he's got 200 in the chat. Can't expect him to call me out every time. So you either remain quiet, you put a comment in there. If it comes up, it comes up. I'm not going to get upset over it. I know that you know me. Same with all the others. And that's the great thing about it. And the amount of times that you've actually cheered me up, I can't be bothered doing this. And I've come on there and you've said something. I thought, I've got to have a word at him.
I love that.
Yeah. So but you've got to be sensible about it as well. But going back to the mental health, this is what helps you out, is
100%.
Talking about things and getting things out. Because there's a couple of things, like the boys have been talking about over your last few shows about crying. And I'm one of these people that writes down little quotes and things like that. Yeah. And I've got one here about crying, and this is for guys. Crying is just the way your eyes speak when your mouth cannot explain how broken you are.
Powerful, that.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
It's those sorts of things.
I love that. I actually love that. Love that.
I don't go out to restaurants or anything like that because I'm embarrassed about I can't use the knife and fork properly.
Are you actually embarrassed about it, Steve? If you're honest, yeah.
Yeah, I get embarrassed about it. I'll get hand food, and even then,
right,
I can pick up a burger, and if I don't hold it properly, it'll open up and fall apart on the plate.
So what are the tremors? Is it tremors, or is it part of something bigger? Or
well, we're going through that process.
Right, okay, Steve. Okay.
The neurosurgeon that I saw yesterday did all tests and everything's all right, but he said it's your mental. He thinks it's the mental side of me because of all the traumas that I've been through. And if we've got time, I'll go through a few of them.
Yeah.
That my body's hasn't processed them. So therefore is going into panic mode, trying to sort things out. And that's what we're going to work on.
So you're having physical symptoms from your mental illness? Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
And the work injury started it off. Being bullied pushed my body into sitting there going, no, that's it. No more. We're not putting up with this.
I can't imagine you ever being bullied. It's one of them that, when you hear someone struggling and you think, I can't believe you're struggling. Like, I can't believe it. Like I had that when I struggled and be like, you were struggling, your life and soul. Like I look at you and I think really strong man would tell someone to F off if he needs to. And hearing you say you were bullied to a point where it's made you will. It's you just don't know, do you, what people are going through?
It comes back to old school, being old school.
Yeah.
If I tell, I'm still old school. I miss the way I viewed the world before I knew too much about it.
I love that.
My word is my bond. I don't have to promise you anything. If I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Right. If I say to you, I will be here at 8 o'clock. I will have a talk there. I will be here. I will be an hour early because I will not be 1 minute late. That's my. And I learned a lot of. I've always been like it, but more so when I've spent my time in Japan. I learned how to be humble. There's a place for everything in its place. Cleanliness, tidiness, orderliness, respect, which is all the things. And the reason I got on well in Japan is because they were already instilled in me. They just take it to another level.
Do they? And what age were you in Japan, mate? What age?
I was 31. I was only there for 3 months. But
were you traveling? Did you work?
No, I was there for work.
Okay.
I was doing training. I used to work for GM as a General Motors in the press shop making car parts. And then Nissan knocked on my door and said, we want to start a press shop up in Victoria. Will you come and help us out? We'll give you a supervisor's job, and we will give you the best of the best to start our press shop. Yeah, I got the dirty dozen. I got all the rejects.
Yeah.
I got all the rejects from all the different departments, people nobody wanted.
Great.
But I whipped them into shape.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. It's just a question of finding out what makes people click.
Yeah.
And caressing people's egos. It's man management.
Yeah, everyone's different, aren't they, mate? Some people need a pat on the back. Some people need an arm around them. Some people need telling. You need to do more.
Yeah, need a kick in the ass.
Yeah, they do, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to swear on here somewhere along the line. It's a bit like Ozzy Osbourne, isn't it? Right? Yeah. I remember one time watching an interview with him, and everybody's sitting there waiting for him to say the F word. And then in the end, they finish the interview, and he turns around to, what's his wife's name?
Sharon.
Sharon, yeah. He says, see, I didn't fucking swear.
That's so Aussie, that.
Because they snuck on him. He snuck on him. But yeah, and that's where I understand where Farker's coming from. And I look at, you look at players, he didn't play, like Matteo, right? Yeah. I think that he knew there was something, there was something that he'd seen in Matteo where Matteo Joseph wasn't either prepared to put in the hard yards, or what's the word they use? Do your earn your stripes.
Yeah,
you got to put in. You got to do the hard work before you become a superstar.
Yeah,
I think he was spoilt a little bit when he was going in the under-21s, was it?
Yeah,
in the Champions, and all of a sudden he scores a goal. Look at me, I was scoring goals all the time.
Yeah,
and he missed out on, But Nonto is a different kettle of fish. At least he got that kick up the arse.
Yeah, he did.
And he pulled his finger out.
Farker managed that situation. Farker managed them situations really well. I want to ask you on that before we move on.
Yeah.
Does that mean he can do the same for Jack Harrison?
I think so.
No, I don't want him. I don't want him.
No, I don't want him. I don't want him. I really don't want him. I'm a believer in giving people second chances. But he'll have to do. You talk about Aronson, right?
Yeah.
Aronson's a different kettle of fish because he left because he could leave. He didn't sort of like tell you up yours. He just said, "I've got an outlaw. I'm going." Yeah. That was before everything had been settled. So Aronson still is okay, but he still needs to do. Harrison on the other side has got a lot of, and so far he hasn't impressed me at all.
No,
but if Farker trusts him, Farker's not a silly man.
No, he's not.
People said he can't change, right? What's he done in the first two games? 4-3-3.
Yep.
Right.
I'm surprised.
No, I'm not, because it's horses for courses.
Yeah.
When you're in the championship, you have to play a certain way.
Yeah. He didn't need to change, did he, Steve? He didn't have to change out in championship. No. He knew his philosophy, the 4-2-3-1 with the players he had would work, so there was no need to ever change it, really.
But in the Premier League, it's different, and you've got to learn to improvise, overcome, and adapt. And that's what he's doing. I've noticed all the incomings are about 26 years old. Yep. They're tall.
Yep.
And for some reason, they've all got a 4-year contract.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I'm not. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but they've all got a 4-year contract, so they're looking long term. And if you're looking long term, you mean in business about where you want to be. Yeah,
stadium developments as well, Steve. Everything's looking like you say, we're going to stay up, we're going to build, and we're not looking down anymore. We're definitely firmly looking up. The transfer business we've done. There were a couple of weeks, weren't there, where a few, obviously you watch a lot of channel, a few people were a little bit worried. I feel like at that time it probably won't warrant it because it was still so long ago. And then last week was a great week, and all of a sudden we're there now with 7 players, Steve. And best thing about that is it's still 3 weeks till we play Everton. That's 7 players currently playing pre-season games together now, building that cohesion with a couple more to come. Like, it's not very often do you see Leeds go buy 7 players before season starts. It'll get to deadline day this year, Stephen. We can go to bed early. There'll be no need to be stressed about deadline day this time.
Yeah, but then we'll be stressing over that.
Yeah, people will be, won't they? There will be. But
Yeah.
I think we've got us ducks in a row for once, and there's still a bit more to do. But it just looks like a clear plan, like you say, transfer strategy with the age, with the length of contracts, with the height, the physicality. You can see what road they're going down. You can see Farker's definitely willing to adapt and change because he's already proven it.
Yeah,
and I'm buzzing. He's obviously losing out on Pajau yesterday. What a bit of a disappointment, Steve, but it goes to show ambition, doesn't it, going for that sort of player? So we've got nothing to worry about as a fan for me, but really, it's just exciting.
Yeah, that's true. Right, let's get into these things that have been building up over the years, right?
Yeah.
When I left England, and these are the things I've learned from psychologists and counsellors over the time, and I've gone through, I'd say about 30. Not gone through them, but had over the time, probably since 2008. I've had about that many. Only one of them was any good.
So have you had that many, Steve, because you're changing because you weren't happy with the sessions?
I tried everything. You know, when they say to me, when you feel anxious, breathe. Sorry, by the time I realise that I'm anxious, I am up here.
It's too late then.
There is no turning back.
Yeah. And
what's happened with me, in my case, is my worst is probably your normal. It has become my normal.
Right.
So if I say, sod off, Marty, and you get upset, you'd have to tell me to F off for me to even think about being upset. You know, you've got those different levels.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I've noticed, and that's what the neurosurgeon told me yesterday. And he said, if you go back through your life, you've got all the things, like when I left England, I had a garage that I had as a kid. You know, the little car comes off the motorway and with the track and all the rest of it comes into the service station. Because it was too heavy, I couldn't take it with us to Australia, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's massive for a kid, isn't it?
It's only a little thing.
Yeah.
As you go through, you move to another country, that would be another thing. The biggest thing I can sort of like go back and remember is my mum passing away. She got crook. She had a brain tumor, and I used to go see her all the time because I was married at 1984. Yeah, I was married at the time. And one time I was sitting in the kitchen and I was talking to my mum, and she said, do you know my eldest son, Stephen, he's been picking on me and he's a very nasty person. And don't you have anything to do with him? And I had to listen to my mum tell me that I wasn't nice. She was talking about me. And that nearly broke my heart. But there was nothing I could do about it.
No.
So then she passed away. That was in 84. 89, my dad passed away. My dad wasn't the nicest of father. He didn't do anything wrong. The way he was brought up, he thought he was a very religious person. I would go, he was fanatical.
Really?
Yeah, fanatic. It was a Catholic. We weren't just Catholics, mate. We were Roman Catholics, special breed. And I always used to, that's when I started to question religion. I go, you know, you've got this guy up in the sky. If I do something wrong, he's going to send me to a place where there's fire and burning and all the rest of it. But he loves me. You know, just trying to get my head around it.
Yeah.
And I was asking questions, and you shouldn't be asking. Anyway, I'm grateful to my father for, one, bringing me into the world, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. And two, for teaching me the sort of man I shouldn't be.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I had a feeling, because we always talk, don't we, about, you know, He was a role model. He showed me exactly what I want to be and, you know, what I strive to be as a person. But when you flip it round, sometimes, you know, you maybe don't have a role model, but there's somebody there you can look at and think, I don't want to be like that person.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's enough to do well in life.
I've got 5 brothers and 1 sister. And one of the things you can do to really upset my brothers, or me and my brothers, is say, oh, you're just like your father.
Just like your old man, yeah.
And I tell you what, I've got 2 ex-wives that used to use that to their advantage as often as they could.
And that's why they're exes.
I mean, I've been very lucky, even though I was a big drinker. Well, when I say a big drinker, I wasn't, you know, I've heard a lot of people talk about how much they drink. I was, in the end, before I gave up drinking last year, and I did that to get help with my mental health, because I was looking for mental health, and they said, well, we don't help unless you know, we can help you with alcohol or drugs. Oh, yeah, I drink. I used to drink 2 bottles of wine a day and a couple of cartons of beer.
Is that up till last year, Steve, as well?
Yeah, that was last year.
Wow.
Yeah, up to last year. Yeah, 2 bottles of wine every night.
Well done, mate. How's it felt since? Has it been difficult to stop?
No. I decided to give up drinking, and they came. I could do detox at home, so they gave me some drugs to help me with the withdrawal symptoms. I don't think I needed them because it was one of those things where I'd made up my mind. And
like you said earlier,
yeah. You go. I gave up smoking the same way, and that was in August 2010.
Fair, well done, mate.
So with the drinking, it was people was titting it because Karen did it 5 or 10 days before I did. I did 10 days, you know, like she did 10 days earlier, started, and she'd been trying off and on, and she gets pissed off with me because you never had any of the symptoms that I had. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Mind over matter.
So, but I got annoyed because I'm supposed to feel better. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to feel. I haven't had none of that. I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
I've put on weight. I put on nearly 8 kilos, I think. So every time I see the doctor, I keep saying to the doctor, when's this happiness, this euphoric thing going to happen with me stop drinking? And she said, well, I don't know. You're just strange, Steve. You're just strange. There must be something about you that's odd. That's why they called me Odd Bod. You know, body odd.
Yeah.
So I used to take the piss. And that's another thing too. I used to grow up with a name like Body. They'd take, back in the 70s, they used to take the piss out of you. The other thing too, I better talk about quickly is when I was 19, I was at the pub, went to the toilet, and I got caught in the toilet by a guy who pushed me up against the urinal, tried to stick his hands down my pants and stick his finger up where the sun don't shine. Fortunately, a guy came in and I was able to get out. Now, the thing that you've got to try and understand with that sort of thing, and this is why I can relate to women who get sexually assaulted. People say, well, why didn't you? It doesn't work like that.
No.
You freeze.
Yeah.
And then you have an out-of-body experience. That's not happening to me.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd put that to bed. I've never dealt with it, really.
No.
I just forgot it because if you told, and the other thing too is back then, if you told anybody, they'd be going, what, you bloody puster. You bloody puster, mate.
Yeah. 100%, yeah.
And people don't understand that these days.
No.
So I never really dealt with it. And it
is that something you just cracked on with your life, put it to the back of your mind, but it was always there? Is that what you're saying? It was always there, and then all of a sudden,
it was always. I thought I'd forgotten about it until I'd watched one of your programs.
Yeah. So
I blame you for it. No.
I know you don't.
And I'd already. I might have got that wrong because I think I told Karen earlier about it. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Matty.
It's all right, mate.
Yours regurgitated it.
Yeah.
Because Karen's going, I don't think she'll mind. Karen's going to counselling because of what happened in her marriage.
Right.
And she thought that sort of behaviour was normal, and it's not.
No.
That's her story to tell.
Yeah.
But while she was telling me about it, well, she wasn't telling me everything about it. While she was talking about it, I started crying, and she said, "What are you crying for?" I said, "I just remember something that happened to me." And I told her. And it wasn't until then I'd never mentioned it to anyone.
Really?
So you're talking 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And then when your program first started and you started going through it, all of it sort of came up. And then you get other little bits and pieces as well. So I say good on them to, like, only Darren, that just regurgitated. And this is where I'm going now, is he was talking about his father, so it brought up my mum. In 2020, New Year's Eve, my brother died of cancer. That was with COVID. I couldn't get to see him. 6 months later, my best mate died. He was one of those guys that you don't see each other for 10 years, and when you get back together, it's just like you've never been away.
Yeah.
Never got to see him. No funeral. 6 months after that, Big John's dad, my best mate, passed away, and he was like a second father to me.
Yeah.
And then that was, so you got New Year's Eve 2020, 6 months, 21, go around to 22. 2 weeks before Christmas in 22, best mate from school died of cancer. 2 weeks before Christmas, and then on Christmas Day, an old girlfriend who I kept in contact with died from a brain tumour on Christmas Day. And none of them I could say goodbye to or anything like that. And it was...
You've dealt with a lot, mate. You've dealt with a hell of a lot. Yeah. Just even the span of your life in general. But yeah, I mean, that what you've just reeled off there in 3 years through COVID, which it was a stressful, horrible time anyway. To go through deaths like that, mate.
The thing with COVID too is I couldn't wear a mask. So I got a lot of stick.
Yeah, I can imagine. Why are you wearing a mask? What are you doing? You know,
I had a little. I made my own little. I still got it. Oops.
A little pass. It says
a little pass. This government over here at the time. So if you ever hear anything about Jacinda Ardern, she was all right in the beginning, but she turned out to be a right nasty piece of work.
Really?
The amount of things that we had to do. The only reason I got jabbed was because they threatened to take the benefit off of us if we didn't get jabbed.
Wow.
See, these are the stories nobody gets to hear.
Yeah.
And Karen and I regret getting the jab.
Yeah.
Not for any other reason other than we felt we were forced to. If we hadn't have done it, we would have not got the benefit.
Yeah.
So
it's wrong.
We didn't think that was right.
No.
And I think my biggest problem overall is because I'm old school, I believe in respecting people or trying to respect people. I believe things should be a certain way. You look after those that look after you and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But the world's changing and that doesn't apply anymore. I think I've got something in here I wrote down. No, I can't find it. I owe myself the biggest apology for putting up with what I didn't deserve.
I love these little quotes. They're just hitting money every time. Yeah.
It's like the guy that assaulted me. And I spoke to the neurosurgeon about it because I said it's this. I really wanted to turn around because I've had enough with people bullying me, picking on me for whatever reason. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what their reasoning is. It's unacceptable, and
Yes.
I don't see why I have to change what I believe to be right just so you can get away with whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly believe, and Karen was sort of like saying, "Yep, I could see it coming." If I turned around and hit him, I wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not saying I would have killed him. I would have
No.
made him. I would have given him the beat.
You'd have just seen red at that point. If you snap, it's hard to stop unless someone comes in, mate, and intervenes.
And I said to the neurologist, I said, I'm getting to that stage where I don't want to go there, but I can feel myself. Yeah. And he said it's all that built up frustration, anger.
Yeah.
So he said we need to get you some serious counselling or whatever, and we'll take it from there. But they're going to put me on some special meds to try and get my. He said basically your brain. How did he put it? Your brain needs to be reset,
right?
And put back. You know, you've got all this stuff that your brain's trying to deal with it, but it's too much. So what we need to do is say, flick the switch and erase.
Similar to what Jam said on remember Jam, I know you took a lot from Jam, didn't you, and you were quite interested in the therapy he'd sort of gone through, so yeah, it sounds similar to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I'm gonna talk to my doctor about it. I think it was a good one.
I think you wrote it down, didn't you?
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. And it's like PTSD. It's not that the person is refusing to let go of the past, but the past is refusing to let go of the person.
Yeah, it's a great way of
looking
at
all
it.
Those sorts of things.
We've spoke a little bit as well, haven't we, on messages saying how like we're both massive advocates for speaking out. I mean, the things you speak about openly, I've done the same, very hard and triggering, but we know it needs doing. And later down the line, I felt good about doing it, but we've also spoke, I mean, you want me, mate, that the immediate aftermath of opening up, you know, my video, I did a video, a few months back, which you'll have seen, where I was walking through the woods near my house, the area where I was contemplating taking my own life, and it was a really powerful video. I had loads of messages what made me feel good, people reaching out saying I needed that today, you were so brave. But for the week afterwards, Steve, I was gone. The emotion it brought back actually had a negative effect on me, even though it had a positive on others. And sometimes that's quite difficult, and I didn't expect that. Opening up doing mental health video, I didn't expect me to feel bad before I start to feel better again, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. You get the all of a sudden you get the sense of relief. Yeah, I've got this out. But then you got to sleep for a couple of weeks, you know. Yeah. But I imagine your wife's the same. With me and Karen, when Karen's down, I'm the strong one. When I'm down, Karen's the strong one. So we carry each other. Yeah. So we're very lucky in that respect. And I think that's what keeps me on a level playing field. Keeps me sane, basically. Yeah. Otherwise I'd go, no,
she's your best friend as well, and she knows when you're struggling. She knows when to lift you up and say you've got to be a team. I mean, obviously me and the wife Elizabeth having a young family, you know, we could never really have a moment where we're both down with someone, you know, we try and be at a level, but 100% when I was at my worst, she got me through it, like 100%. Kids as well, don't get me wrong, but there were times where they weren't enough. I couldn't see them for the darkness that was sort of taking over. But as soon as I opened up to Elizabeth, she just became my rock, and she physically held me that day when I opened up to her, and she's emotionally held me ever since. And it's hard that as a man to be vulnerable and put that burden on your wife, and that's something I've had to learn. And the burden of opening up and telling my wife my problems is a lot better for her than attending my funeral, Steve. So for anyone sort of watching, you've got to be open with your partner. You've got to be open with your loved ones, even if it's the hardest thing in the world to do, which it is, isn't it, Steve? It's the hardest thing in the world sometimes, but it's a lot easier for them to listen than attend your funeral. So it's just a massive, powerful point that somebody always hit home, that no matter how hard it is, which it is, it's not easy talking about, you know, these sort of stuff. Sometimes it's embarrassing, sometimes it's degrading, but they want to wear it. They want you to heal, and you can't heal until you start opening up.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah. And the other thing too is people sit there going, "Oh, this is the thing about counselling and psychologists, right?
Mm.
The thing you've got to do is find the right fit for you. If you're seeing a counsellor and it's not working, change or try to change or do something, because otherwise you're wasting your time.
It's great advice, that.
Because I've found some of them are just, you're just sitting there going, oh God, yeah, you're doing my head in, you know.
Yeah,
you're making me worse.
really?
And I got one of the first ones I had. He said, "Have you ever thought you're very talkative? Maybe you could go back to school and become a politician or a lawyer or something." I'm not here.
What?
I'm not here for that.
Not here for a career change, mate. Not here for a career change.
South Africa. No, I didn't like it. Right, we're getting near an hour, mate. Do you want to knock it on the head, or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, it's up to you. If you've got all you want to say, mate. I'm quite. I think we've got a lot out there. I'm really pleased with the conversation.
No, I can keep going for a little while longer.
Mate, I'm easy.
Somebody else. People talk. They don't want to talk about is like. Have you ever thought? I always get a laugh out of this because you get the list of things that you've got to when you go into counselling. Like, have you ever taken drugs? No, I've never taken drugs.
Me neither.
I have been around people who've smoked the old wacky weed. I have quite enjoyed that too. It was free. It was great.
Yeah.
Do you smoke? Do you drink? Have you ever thought of committing suicide? And I always, yeah, of course I have. Why? And they look at you and say, "Oh, you're taking that as a bit."
Yeah, you said that a bit too. Yeah,
you said that a bit. Yeah, well, you asked me, and yes, I've thought about it. Would I do it? No. Why?
Have you ever come close?
No.
Ever gone beyond? No, she's never gone beyond a thought where it's become.
No, I've got to the stage where I've thought about jumping out in front of a vehicle. I've been on a busy road, or on a bridge, and I've actually thought about jumping. But then this little voice in my head tells me, "No, there's too many people you've got to annoy, Stephen. You can't do this." So
I love how we talk about such a deep thing like potential suicide, and then again there comes a humour, there comes that little piece of that little bit of light that I always say with you. I love it.
That's how I cope.
I love it.
That's how
it's a great coping mechanism. It is.
Karen hates it when I talk about things and I can keep a straight face.
You're an hard one to read. I'll be honest. You're an hard one to read.
But because I love Billy Connolly.
Great comedian. Great comedian.
The old comedians. There was a guy called Jimmy Jones. He used to do the circuit back in the 70s and 80s. He was a bit risque. A bit like Roy Chubby Brown.
Very risky.
He wasn't as bad as I say bad. He didn't use the colourful language that Roy Chubby Brown uses.
Nobody else.
I always find that sort of sense of humour amazing, because people always, and I mean, humour, it lightens everything up and it just takes the edge off of it. I mean, I've sat with. Here's another one. I was talking to a guy, and he said, I asked him if he was all right, and he said, no, he was feeling a bit down and all the rest of it. So I said, okay. So I sat next to him, and he says, what you doing? I said, I just thought I'd sit with you. Is that okay? He said, yeah, all right. He says, aren't you going to say anything? I said, you said you didn't want me to talk about anything. You didn't want to talk. So I'm very fluent in silence. And he sort of like smiled. And then he started talking.
I love that.
And I saw, it was many years later, I saw him again, and he said, thank you very much. And I said, what for? He said, remember when we first met? I said, yeah, I didn't. But I said, yeah. And he said, yeah. He says, I was thinking of doing myself in.
Wow.
Oh, and then I remembered. And it was like, there's little things in life that you do And one of the things I remember because I used to go. This is another thing why I knew my marriages weren't working properly, because I'd go down the pub. Like the wife would go out to work, the second wife especially, go out to work. I'd go down the pub. There was this guy I used to meet on a Saturday, and old bloke, and I used to buy him because he'd only drink a schooner of beer, which is a small glass.
Yeah.
And we used to sit there and talk, and every Saturday. And then one Saturday, he didn't rock up. And this little old lady rocked up. And she said, "Oh, hello, is your name Steve?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "Oh, you know Harry?" I said, "Yeah. Where is he?" She says, "Oh, I'm sorry, he passed away." I said, "Well, I didn't know." I said, "I'm sorry." She said, "No," she says, "I'm here to have a beer with you, because he always used to talk about you all the time." So that was very touching. She said, "Would you like to come to the funeral?" So I said, "Yeah, all right." So off I go to the funeral. And I don't know what came over me. There was me and his missus, and we're looking, the funeral's gone along. We're looking into the hole. She grabs a piece of dirt and the flour and she throws it in. And for some reason, I turned round to her, and I said to her, "Ain't worth you going home, is it?" And she said, "That's just the sort of sense of humour he told me."
Yeah. Oh, class.
But yeah, I'm terrible for things like that.
Not terrible, mate, at all. No, it's not terrible. I love it, mate. I love that sense of humour.
But yeah, I reckon we'll finish 10th this year.
I always think of you, mate, as a really, really positive and optimistic fan, and I love that. But that's a little bit too high, I think. I'm going 13th.
Yeah.
13th. I think right now, Steve, if we didn't make another sign, I still think we'd stay up now. Maybe that's wild. I don't know. I think currently we'd stay up.
I've always thought that depending on who we got in, we'd go from 17th up to 10th. But I've always said 10th because I've always believed that the 49ers know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've been building for the Premiership, and not only building for it, but to stay in it.
Yeah.
You've heard Parag go on about it all the time. And you see the signings coming in, I'm going, there's another good one. There's another good one. There's another good one. And when you watch them, because I got the highlights, and I got to actually watch the full game. I know they're only friendlies, but you can sort of like see the magic starting to happen.
You can.
And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, and like I said, the results don't massively matter, Steve, but you want to see the connections. You want to see a style of play. You want to see them looking good, regardless of result. The fact that we've won 2 and drawn 1's pretty good anyway. But like you say, who
was that player that did that fancy little kick? Was it Nonto? Did that little with his foot?
Yeah. Yeah. He's looking really, really good. He's willing on. Ramazani is. I'm really excited. And all that crap about Farker not having pull and nobody wanting to play for Farker. That looks a little bit daft now, doesn't it? The players we've brought in, and all of a sudden, I have no doubt. Well, I say all of a sudden, I've never massively doubted Farker anyway. At Prem level, you compare it to Norwich now, it looks ridiculous to even have that conversation, because we know at Norwich he had no money spent. Look how much they've backed him now. So the fact that 49ers have backed him with 70 million quid, soon to probably be Steve 150. Because let's be fair, we're probably going to spend 30 plus on 2 more players, aren't we? Yeah. So. And they're no mugs. They know what they're doing. If they know what they're doing, giving Fark 150 million to spend on his players, and why are we even questioning it, Steve?
Exactly.
Why are we questioning it?
Well, I've always had faith in Fark. I mean,
you have.
What is it? It's just his man management. All those players that have come in would have been told what their role is.
Yeah,
they would have been told what's expected of them. The fact that Farker's actually turned around and said, "Hello, Mr. Longstaff, you need to improve here, there, and here." And even Longstaff said that in the interview.
Yeah.
He loved the fact that he didn't say, "Oh, you're coming in and we're going to do this." He said, "You need to improve this." and he explained. I think,
and that's how you know that's how you know you brought the right player in, when he doesn't throw his bat and ball home like a prima donna, and he's annoyed that. But in fact, he's took it on board and gone, actually, yeah, you're right, and he's instantly giving him a kick up the arse, instantly.
Yeah. Those players will know that if they would have been given the lowdown, here it is. We can. I don't think any of the players have been guaranteed play time. If you're good enough, you'll be playing.
Yeah.
And I think to be part of the group would be massive.
Yeah, 100%. And that midfield looks very competition for places is massive in that midfield. There's five into three probably now, as we've said. That's why I don't think we'll go with two in midfield. It looks like it'll be a three. But all five options are great, and they've all got to work super hard, haven't they? Because if they have an off game, you know, they will not bench can come in that week, because that's the competition we need. I don't like the word backups, me, Stevie. I want everyone to have a competition for places, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why it'd be nice to get Pajal with Ramazani chomping at the heels, because he's just as capable. And yeah, you want competition across the pitch. So it's nice to see it looks like we're building.
Tanaka's, you know, Tanaka playing is awesome. I mean, you talk about Perot. He's come back. Have you seen the size of him?
Yeah. Mate, again, someone else was worked. Yeah, he's worked on himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's such a good finisher, Steve. He will score goals in Premier League. I have no doubt.
Absolutely. Everybody's saying, Perot, Perot. Yeah. But no, everybody's got a role to play, and they'll do it really well.
Don't you just think a lot of people do the lazy thing of just saying, because Leeds have come up, they're going to get relegated. Because Pido has never played in Premier League, he's not going to be able to do it. It's just so lazy. Like every single player and every single team, it's totally different to another team that's done it. Because Pido's never played in Premier League, that means he can't do it. What a load of tosh. Because once upon a time, bad comparison, but once upon a time, Mo Salah had never played in Premier League. At some point, all the best players in the world had never played a football, you know, at some point. Yeah. I just hate it that, he can't do it. But he's different. He's his own person. He's a finisher. Ramazani and Nonto, I think they'll be better in Prem than Championship. Well, that doesn't make sense. Maybe not to you, but to me, in my opinion, I'm seeing enough to think they're all going to elevate the game. And I don't know. I'm in a really good headspace, and I love it, because with me, and I think you spoke before that you can switch off a little bit. I think maybe I've got that wrong, but with me, Leeds really affects my mood. Like, I really need Leeds to be doing well to a degree, and I have been a little bit nervous that we ain't going to win every week like we did in the Premiership. Although a 10th place finish had been winning most weeks, I won't lie, but it is a bit of a worry if it's a poor season that my weekends are ruined and the missus will be like, you're sulking again. But this is why we love football, Steve. We love it because we don't know how it's going to happen. It's all the thrill of the ride in it.
Yeah, just going on that. This is although I envy you guys having all the information at your fingertips and all the daily news, I'm probably lucky. I don't get overfed. I don't get overindulged.
You only see what you go looking for, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, Wrexham played Auckland City, and that was big news over here. And it was only big news because Auckland City beat.
Did they win? Did they?
Yeah. Was it Auckland City or Wellington Phoenix? I think it was Wellington Phoenix beat Wrexham 1-0.
Oh, wow.
And it was big news. Otherwise, there would have been nothing.
Yeah.
If the side doesn't win, you hear nothing.
Yeah.
The big news at the moment is New Zealand are playing Australia World Cup. They're building it up as the World Cup Australasian.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And if New Zealand lose, you won't hear anything.
They push it under the carpet like it never happened.
That's just the way they are.
Funny.
No, it's like you said, I have to go looking for the news. Otherwise, I don't get it. Yeah. So that's why it's important to me. But everybody who I follow, and that is important to me. I mean, I float between, like at the moment, I'm going through your channel and Joe's a bit more than I'd normally would.
Yeah. And
some of the others have I watched Joe's morning news.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I like. You know?
A small bite-size show, 10 minutes. Yeah. Get all the information you need for the next 24 hours. It's perfect.
And then and then all of a sudden I'll go off of Joe and I'll go on to say Ollie Ward, or I tend to stay away from Connor, not because I don't like him, but because the people in the chat. do your head in.
The chat's quite a negative place at times, even though I think Connor's content's sound and I think it looks visually good. I'm actually going to meet him for the first time next Saturday, apparently. I think when I go to Dublin, I'm spending day with Darren, you know, for the AC Milan
Maybe
game.
down at the Camden.
Yeah, well, I think so. I'm sleeping. Me and the wife are staying at Darren's house on the Saturday, and so we'll be spending time with Darren, and I think we'll be with you and Connor. So I'll actually get to meet Connor for the first time, which will be cool. But yeah, I do find sometimes the chat, the space, not even just Connor's on other channels, sometimes the chat can actually put you off wanting to watch the actual channel, which is sad because it's not even always the person you're watching who's the culprit, is it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And the odd thing, the other thing for me is time difference.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like it's what, nearly 9:30 your time?
Yeah.
You need to be off to the other show, don't you?
I haven't got one planned tonight, but I may jump on later. I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
I haven't got all planned anyway, that's for sure.
Ah, good. And we can talk for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so with Connor's, he's got a lot of information. This is the other thing about you guys, is that I have had the opportunity to watch you from the beginning develop as people and as content creators.
Yeah.
And I can slowly see, of all the people that I followed, there's certain ones that I continue to follow because they continue to improve and change and come up with new stuff. That's why I love the stuff I suggested to you that do something different. And now you start to do all those little different things. Your Friday night show is great. This show that you're doing, the only thing I worry about with you doing a lot of stuff like this is the effect it might have on you.
Yeah, and I've had a few people say that. Thank you for sort of thinking of my welfare and stuff. I'm one of them who has to keep busy. But what I will say is, doing this sort of channel, I'm massively passionate about, but it does take a bit out of you. So that's why one a week maximum. Sometimes it may be once a fortnight. You know, that sort of just no pressure on it. When I get a guest booked on, right, let's get it done. Let's make sure it's a great chat and informative. Just like with Michael last week on the prostate cancer. Again, I came off and it was like, wow, it feels like a big weight when you're doing something like this, because I have trained in this. You know, I don't know if I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm just a normal guy who's created a platform for somebody else to come on and share a story that may resonate with someone. But it's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and that's something I didn't really think of. I just thought, I openly speak about my mental health. You know, people will come on. It'll be hard chats, but I'll be fine. I'll be at a closed laptop and a car. You know, it's. But yeah, thank you for that. And you are right in what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I'll always, if I see something that I feel is heading you in a direction that is not good, and Karen's looks over my shoulder all the time, and she'll pick up stuff and she'll say, "Tell him he needs to slow down," or she'll say, "Could you mention this or that?"
Yeah.
And I'll do that.
I appreciate that.
And then it's up to you. I can sit there and go, well, I did mention that you needed to take a break. That's why I was really pleased that you went off on holiday for a little while. But even then, you had to do a little short, didn't you? Couldn't help yourself.
Yeah, no. I spoke to someone earlier, so I'm currently in the process now, mate. I'm hoping I'll get a message at some point. So you know the lead songs I've been creating. I've got 7, and I've made one. I finished one. It's taken me a month. So while I've been doing other ones, I've been creating probably the most sensitive one. And obviously, you've seen I've done a Gary Speed one. But I've been doing one for Chris and Kev. I've been doing one for them, and I finished that last night. And I'm going through the process now of putting them on an album on Spotify. It's sort of loading on Spotify now, right? But what I'll say is, it's quite funny because I've had a few people say, bloody hell, you're doing these songs, you're doing this and that. Like, when do you have time to stop? I don't have time to stop. When I'm doing this now, were you Mr Whitesnake, or when I'm making songs, or that is me stopping. That's me doing, like, I honestly don't know how to unplug. I don't know how to take 5 minutes for myself. It's just the way I'm wired. I've always been the same. I think
I think I've got ADHD. I just can't switch off. I'll finish this, mate. I'll go in bed and I'll stare at the ceiling for 2-3 hours, and I'll have cogs going round. And then I may even pick my phone up and start typing something in my notes. Maybe a song, maybe a poem, maybe just thoughts that are going on in my head. I don't know how to switch off, mate. So as much as it looks like I'm doing too much, which I think I am, I don't know any other way. I really don't.
Yeah. That's okay. But that's okay, because you know.
I do know.
Yeah.
I do know.
And that's the whole thing. It's when you don't know and it happens. And it's like, I don't sleep well at night. I can go to sleep just like that, but I'll wake up within 2 years. And there's reasons for it. One is I got a sore shoulder, or my shaking will wake me up, or my prostate, because I got an enlarged prostate. So that's why what Michael was saying, all of a sudden you're talking, oh, shit. That's something that I better watch out for. I mean, I get tested. I'd get the blood test. Every time they do a blood test, I get the prostate checked with that.
Right,
okay. With that. And if that shows anything up, then you get the...
Yeah.
And if you're afraid of that, you know, it's for your own benefits. I don't know. I can't get my head around. It's important that you get these sorts of things checked.
Yeah. It's mad that people shy away from it, don't they, for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's crazy. Speaking to you today, all the shows and guests I've had on this channel, you've probably taken at least one thing from each chat, haven't you? You know, like you say, Darren, you absolutely you connected with a loss of a parent. You had Jam, who you probably connected with that toilet incident and that sort of thing. And then obviously last week with prostate, prostate cancer with Michael. So even though different people, different walks of life, different scenarios, there is a lot you can take from someone just opening up, you know. And like you say, you alone, it's already connected with and made you think about things. So this is why it's so important for me to do this, you know.
Yep.
And I know you're my biggest supporter of this, and I'll always thank you for that. It does mean a lot.
If it makes you feel any better through this channel and through the Leeds channels and us talking about mental health, there have been quite a few people. I know of about 3, 4 that have contacted me and have a bit of a chat about things.
Life. Oh, well.
So,
class.
This is what Joe was trying to get through to people when he was doing the halftime talk, or the end of the thing talk of the Creators Cup.
Yeah.
You guys will never know what sort of effect you have on people's lives.
Yeah.
You just have to know that you do affect people's lives in a good way.
Yeah, that's class. Yeah.
Me, I'm happy because I get to talk to you guys. I love this stuff.
Good. I'm glad you do.
And through things that you've done, people have reached out to me. Because I don't know. Like I said earlier, every time I get on the bus, the nutter wants to sit next to me. But they have a chat. They just say, "Oh, I saw you on da-di-da-di-da," and thanks for that. I don't
class.
See that little pin? That was somebody offered Jack City's feed, asked for my address and sent it to me.
Oh, that's
and
class.
He sent my wife some little bath oil things.
Yeah.
You know, that you put in the oil lamp and it smells nice or something.
Yeah, nice smellies.
Yeah. Don't know the guy from there.
How nice is that though? How nice is just being, honestly, mate, it sounds so basic, but I try and instill into my kids, Stephen, just being kind is honestly the number one thing I want to instill. Yeah, I want them to be brave. I want them to go for things in life. I want them to do their best. But be kind. If you see someone struggling, I want them to be kind more than anything in the world. That's the one piece of their personality that they need to have first and foremost for me. And obviously our Theo, being a twin to our John, who's got autism and struggles daily, he's the kindest. Don't get me wrong, the siblings, they have the little tiffs, but he's the kindest boy to his brother, and he knows he needs more eyes on him. He understands that sometimes we're more focused on him than we are Theo, and he understands that because, like I say, he just gets it. He's just such a kind-hearted lad, and I'm just proud as a dad that I can already see that a 6-year-old is going to grow up to be a really good man. And what more can I do other than that's my biggest job? That's my most important job now, mate. For till the day I take my last breath is making sure my kids grow up with, you know, to be good people when they get older, mate. So yeah, kindness is number one for me.
We were at the hospital yesterday, and it was bucketing down with rain. And as we were going in, there was a guy on crutches. He was trying to do up his jacket. So Karen stops and says, "Now, mind you, it's really pissing down with rain." And she says, "Can I help you with that?"
I love that.
And he said, "Oh, no, I'll be all right." So after we'd been in, we come out and we're in the car park, and it's absolutely bucketing down. And there's this woman with an umbrella and a kid trying to get into her car. So we went over and grabbed her umbrella and got her into the car, gave her it back. But that's the sort of thing people should be doing all the time.
And it makes people's day. Something so small can make someone's day. A smile can be contagious. A hello can change someone's day. Sounds so easy, but it's massive, mate. It's massive. So
it is.
Yeah. Honestly, mate, thank you so much for being on here. I'm absolutely buzzing.
I'm sorry to take up so much of your time.
Yeah, don't you worry about it, mate. I always get dead nervous, Steve, before these. Probably more nervous than some. Yeah, for these ones in particular, on Full Time Talk, I get so nervous because it's just I just know it's such a big deal doing a channel like this and having someone come on and not wanting, like I say, not wanting to say the wrong thing, not wanting to react the wrong way because I don't always know what's going to come out either. Do you know? I don't ask questions really beforehand. It's not scripted. I've got no notes. I don't want it to feel scripted. I don't want to be searching online. I don't want to do that. I want to be myself. And I do get quite nervous, but that's because it means something as well. Because I care. So it has that effect on me, Steve. That's all.
That's what Karen said to me. Because I said I don't know what exactly to talk about, or she said, "Just be you."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, but I'm worried about swearing and stuff like that." She said, "Just be you."
Exactly. You know me, I swear anyway.
You'll sort it out. Because if there's one thing I'm good at is being able to talk and get away with things.
Yeah, you are.
That was another thing. I'm the sort of person that you can tell the dirtiest, filthiest joke. And people will look at you and go, "Oh, that's disgusting. How could you?" I could tell the same joke and people would laugh.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
Karen said, "Just be yourself. It'll be fine."
And it has been fine. It's been fine. It's been really nice conversation. I've really enjoyed you sharing your time with us and your story with us. Thank you so much. And we'll leave with you saying Leeds are going to finish where in Premier League?
I'd say 10th.
10th, we'll take that. 10th. No, but seriously, thank you so much. Please go and check out Mr Whitesnake. Steve, I will put your link in the description as well. Please check him out. He's straight talking. Nice little videos when he puts them on. You're not there an hour and a half waffling like I do. Straight to the point, lets you know how he's feeling. Really good content. Go give Steve some love on his channel. So thank you so much for being here, mate. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Just do me one favour.
Go on, mate.
Give my love to your wife and the two boys, all the way from Australia. Say hello to that lovely dog of yours.
I will do.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that, Steve. You're a star. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Look after yourself. Thank you.